Well, Kyle,
Yes, Garrett.
it's time to talk about that cutscene.
That cutscene.
The walk.
The end walk.
That cut.
Obscene.
Flash into white.
Obscene.
How many flashes?
Well, 9 if you include the double flashes.
Yeah, don't count them.
Don't worry
They
about
don't-
it.
they
Yeah,
don't-
don't worry about it.
They mean nothing.
Don't worry about it.
They mean nothing.
No.
So we went back and forth on this. Turns out Elpis is thick.
A lot of answers, one might say.
Objection.
Leading
the audience.
Pandering to the audience.
Pandering to the audience. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's up for interpretation.
It is.
Originally called Dalamud's Answers.
Yes.
The 1.0 song.
Retrofitted.
But also played after Google crashed into the wall and destroyed Minfilia's sister?
This when
Adopted
her
aunt?
parents die.
Oh, yes,
It kills her parents.
Yeah.
This is how Minfilia's parents die, and she
Thancred
becomes
feels real bad.
adopted.
Yeah. But it does play there, which is kind of interesting.
Is it?
Well, it's like a theme song of Heidelin. And the journey of the song...
Oh, that makes sense.
The journey of the song is kind of interesting because you have a lot of call and response. You have the choir starting it off, basically being like, why does everything suck? And Heidelin being like, hey, everybody, I'm sorry it sucks. And then you get into call and response as the choir says, why does this suck? And she's like, feel. And they're like, why does it suck? And they're like, think. And then the rock comes in very like very Trans-Siberian Orchestra would be where I kind of feel the vibe.
Okay. 90s doing an impression of 80s stadium rock, but for the purposes of Christmas soundtracks.
Yes.
Okay.
Except
Cool.
for it's
We're on
not
the same
Christmas,
page.
it's just Minfilia's parents dying.
That's definitely not Christmas.
No.
Yeah. This Venat cutscene is extremely well known by anyone who's gotten to this point in Final Fantasy XIV, and so kind of just... No one told us to do this, but we feel we should. This is probably the best way to handle this. So this will not be like one of our normal MSQ videos. This will be like one of our trailer videos. But yeah, let's get into it because this cutscene, it was quite the moment, at least for me. Cut to me.
A quest to find your purpose, knowing your end is assured. To find the strength, and amidst deepest despair, light
It's so
everlasting.
I have no words, but yelling this is cool. I have nothing.
The silence speaks volumes.
Normally, we'd play the silly music here and like promote something, some way that you can like help us out by subscribing to this channel or the Clips channel or watching our streams. But this video's gonna get demonetized. It's gonna happen because there's a record label that are a bunch of copyright trolls that anytime Realm Reborn music gets played, they flag the video. There's no guarantee that we'll see a cent from any of the ad revenue from this video. So we'd really appreciate it that if you like this video and you like the content that we do, just take a look at the YouTube memberships. Take a look at our Patreon over at supportourbromance.com and consider chipping in whatever works for you. We really appreciate it because we felt this video was basically impossible to do without playing the cutscene with the music. So fuck it and fuck Corner Chapel.
Roll the tape.
From this day forth, I shall strive to bring honor to the seat of Vandani.
And he did.
I mean, try number 3.
I mean, he wiped his own memory and he gave an honest attempt to forestall the final days.
Yeah.
As this was happening, I do believe I was thinking, "Oh God, please let us land in this memory. I want to see it." And then you find out it's not a memory; it's a montage.
It's ominously approaching. This is the start of the song. And the interesting thing about it, from that perspective, is this entire opening is choir.
Huh.
So as though the voices are calling out to a god of some kind, saying, "We're tired. Why does everything suck?"
Well, in this case, I don't think they're tired. I think they're dying horribly.
Well, yeah, you can, compare. Well, the song was written for the Sundered peoples. But we can also take it as, it's interpretation. We can also interpret it as the terrible people who are dying right now in Amarot.
It works.
Even now, I remember standing there, locked in a moment where the sky is aflame. Where stars fall as tears, and screams darken the seas. Where resignation rots the trees.
So basically, what the choir has said there is, stop guiding us. Let us go. Your whole plan sucks.
And they're calling out to Hydaelyn to say this?
They're calling out to gods, the will of the universe, whatever it may be. But as the next part is sung by the main singer, we can interpret that as the voice of Hydaelyn coming in. So it's one thing that this song reaches its climax when we're doing the cool walk. It's another thing that they timed it out for the entire cutscene, which is why you could auto advance during it, to be with the music point for point.
Okay, that makes... Well, because there's not, as you've probably noticed, there's not one of our musical intros that we tend to do for MSQ videos, because this is already a music synced video.
It's already a compilation too.
Yes. Yes. I was at this point I was already stoked about this cutscene because I love Amarot. I know this might come as a shock to you.
Very surprising.
But it's such an inflection point for this entire narrative, and for me it's still the high point. It's still what I enjoy the most, even after this cutscene, which is very, very good. And a 5.0 is still so far my favorite thing in Final Fantasy XIV, and so I was really stoked to see this callback to it. I will, in this cutscene's not in its defense, because it doesn't need defending, but to compliment it, I will say this makes Amarot even better. This is fully additive. Also, if you're going to do something that's not a literal representation of the events, and it is an artistic interpretation, show? Because you're all then if you see like a new section of Amarot, you go, that's where it took place.
That's the important part there.
But everything else was just reused dungeon asset. If you're already doing it's like, we know it's Amarot, it's shorthand. We, the player, already know what all this is. We already know what it represents. It represents the downfall of ancient society. Cool. Let's set it here and move on.
Moving on.
Where terror twists magics into abominations. Such is the lament of they who have gone before.
It's a good monster.
The song of they who
Even though I know you're mad that it showed up in Eureka.
Well, and I thought it was a personification of elephant people's terrors because of the tusks. And so, it seems the abominations, the blasphemes, are an expansion pack of monsters. Not a... Yes. The Eureka, damn it, man. The Eureka thing didn't bother me, but now it bothers me. Right, the Eureka thing's kind of weird.
Moment, it bothers me. Because everything else, like we know they made Goobles, and somehow post-Sundering Goobles got sundered, but didn't change.
Yeah.
They just became smaller. They came 1/14 smaller and were thrown out into Limsa for you to go punch.
We learned in the side quests that, like you do, everyone got kind of excited about building an apex predator, which is why the world is so dangerous.
You're right. There's something about it that's odd, because all of the monsters we saw made in Elpis are also out in the world, but we haven't really seen blasphemies created in Elpis and then used elsewhere, and we haven't seen anything else in Amarat that we fought except as a blasphemy, but this looks like it's a blasphemy, but it's just a regular ass monster in Eureka.
Might be repainted. And I'm also running wild with the idea of how much I love the monster manual that was the Sin Eaters. Because each one of those was unique to the transformation of, some of them were just bears because it was a bear. But,
But they had the forgiven nomenclature.
And the backwards elephant head that was the crazy ass blaspheme we saw, unique to the summoning of the elephant peoples.
Yes. Yeah. That was very, very cool. So yeah, this one bothers me. I'm with you.
That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer Hope's creation. It is hopelessness incarnate. That day, mankind saw half of its number sacrificed to bring forth Zodiac.
Of course, I'm going to pause here because for me, Final Fantasy XIV is inseparable from friendship, as our long-standing relationship has been cemented now further through playing this game together. It's not just because I'm a giant Emmett fanboy or Hithlo fanboy for that.
It does enhance it for you, though.
It does enhance it, yes. And it enhances the understanding of their friendship and the tragedy of Emmett Selk. Because it's really efficient storytelling. You're having Venat deliver this line about losing half of their numbers to summon Zodiark, and instead of trying to represent that with some mass number, they just show us two characters that mean a lot to us, and their number reduces by one, as the one that we know had their soul trapped in Zodiark goes off to basically go get trapped. And now there's all this extra layer, having gone through Elpis, of knowing what a perversion of ancient society that is. Because we go through Elpis, suddenly we learn that ancients all decided when it was their time to pass on, to go return to the star, as they put it. This was pretty much new information for us. Was it hinted at before? Maybe. Someone's going to comment below and let me know. But for us, it's a new piece of information that we didn't learn until we played through Elpis, and now this cutscene coming in at the exit. Yeah, I love it. It just packs all that tragedy up in a nice, beautiful, depressing package.
Well, if you're talking about perversion here, you can also get into lyric that's being sung right now. Land's light of justice and the land's light of purpose, yet they're not able to return to the land. He's off to go sacrifice himself to Zodiark. Mm-hmm. The whole land being the star, an interchangeable word for the planet.
Yes.
So everything sucks.
I don't think they ever use the word planet.
And covering the star in a shroud of ether, we forestalled the final days.
Which I do like that line.
I like it because by making these videos, we forestall the final days because we are stalling.
I like it because what made their star unique, we find out, is how ether-soaked it is, as comparison to the other ones that Medion goes to. That is their line of defense. That is what made them special over the technological star, the plague star, the star that with technology banished all despair, banished all toil. And so by using what made them special, they actually locked themselves in a prison of sorts.
Well, I mean, they quite literally locked themselves in a prison.
Yeah?
At least those that gave themselves the Zodiark. The rest of them locked themselves in a prison of having to contend with half of their population dying. And also we know that, like, at some point the world turns to shit a second time and there's something. It was back when Emmett was telling us like the history of Zodiark.
Zodiark works immediately. However, Zodiark wants more and more, and the peoples that were sacrificed to fuel it weren't expected to be locked up. They expected to give their energy onto it and then be free. Much like Moonbrita. She gave her energy to the laser and poof, she's back to the star.
Do we know that? Because why didn't she show up to punch Nidhogg in the nuts with Ysael and Haurchefant?
There's a chance she's also in a bunch of crystals shattered everywhere, but that's kind of a downer too. So, I mean, there you get into like what a serious downer it is, what we did to those we successfully auricited. Nabrielis is like trapped forever in shards on the ground of the Waking Sands.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. There's got to be.
We murdered him forever.
There has got to be some storyline where we go and like cleanse that and release his energy, right?
We like put the last shard in the boo door and open it up, and Sully's like, where the frick's Nabrielis?
You go out there with a broom and dustpan, you collect the pieces, and you reconstitute it, and you go, hey, sorry, buddy.
It's all we knew.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better back then.
We're really sorry. Also, you're properly dead now. Right? Well, hold on. Well, Emmett, we also successfully killed. If my assumption is correct, and Hydaelyn successfully ferried his soul to the ethereal sea of the source, then it's all fine.
That's where the artistic interpretation of Hades shattering, or maybe Thancred screwing it up by shooting it too many times, gets in.
Yeah, I still find Emmett's death nebulous, but I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Well, he's also the one in charge of the underworld, and you could interpret the underworld as the life stream. And so in that way, he really could be in control of his own demise.
You're conflating Greco-Roman mythology, which is really just used as a touch point for cute naming conventions.
But they're saying he was they actually said in-game that the seed of Emek-Selk is in charge of the underworld. That is his charge. And what is the underworld but a life stream of which he pulled people out of? Life stream, River of Styx.
Shit, you're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Is he going to bring back all our friends? Is everyone fine at the end of this? He's just like, oh, yeah, buddy Haurchefant.
Oh, I don't think, that would...
Moonbrita, there you go, Orionche. I've been shipping you to since the beginning. Here you go.
That's more of like a ghost situation. They haven't moved on willingly. They haven't cast themselves down the life stream far enough to be reborn. And we can take not only the scenes in Elpa's side quests of returning that energy of the creatures to the land, but also the lines of the song talking about how the land is alive. The land is the source of all this life.
You have the mole people, the one tribe that believes in resurrection or rebirth, not resurrection, but rebirth of second, third, fourth lives. Even trying to chart who they were in the previous life. They're probably wrong, but they're probably not entirely wrong. Sadhu, what's up? How you doing? This is where I feel the song and how the lyrics pertain to what's happening is probably the most of a reach to make it fit. Because ain't no one walking free in this section. It's very dire.
You have to earn two bodies holding hands on the ground, and they did. It's fine.
We wept for innocence lost, wailed for death inevitable.
Just a big string of middle fingers as she walks through.
A reality.
He doesn't know. and he got he had to hit the redo, and he did the right thing.
Comfort in gilded memories of joyful days and tranquil nights.
This makes me want to run armor out so bad.
This is all wrong. Why must we suffer so? It needn't be like this. No. There must be a way to restore things to the way they were. To reclaim the perfect paradise we once had.
Boy, if that ain't relatable for all time periods ever.
My friends, suffering exists, and we cannot pretend otherwise.
What do you want to return to?
Name a generation. Name a time period. Like, it's just, this is what the human brain does. Oh, it was so much easier. Insert time in the past. We all do it.
In the States, I think it's just pre-bills.
Yeah, before I had bills and all that kind of thing. Or are you talking about Bill Clinton?
No, well, 90s were pretty decent.
But have you seen 80s movies? Like, that's what we thought the future was going to be. RoboCop? There's no hope there.
You're picking one director's vision of the future, which was bleak. That's not what everyone thought.
My nebulousness is on purpose because we can all relate to this idea. I want to go back to the way it was. It's childish.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind to be able to go and buy a Game Boy game at Target again. Be like Venat. Look forward. Look forward. Even though the Switch 2 is delayed, look forward.
No civilization, however great, could eliminate it.
She would know.
If we would live, we must accept it as our constant companion. Let us not seek to forget this tragedy.
The organ music is so good in this part.
That we may grow stronger and know true happiness.
We can't accept it. We won't accept it.
Go back to Ishgard.
It will be ours again.
He does sound like an
Go
Ishgard.
yell about some crab there.
No, it will not. For there has ever been sorrow. Mankind was but spared its biting sting for a time. So please, open your eyes. To try and reclaim those lives we lost by sacrificing yet more isn't wisdom. It is weakness. No paradise is without its shadows. If we cannot accept this truth and learn from our pain, then our plight shall be repeated.
I like this because I take this, particularly the no paradises without its shadow, the whole line, and accept truth, learn from its pain, and then our plight shall be repeated if we don't learn from this. That is the heroic conclusion Hermes should have ended up at. Or another way I look at it is it means, despite altering his own memory, that Hermes' initial sadness, not where he ended up, not where he spiraled out of control and made a potentially reality-ending decision. But before that moment, when Hermes is presented to us as a relatable, very human, very sad character who just can't contend with watching countless creations that he made and others make be put to death just because it didn't work out. None of that was in vain, even though he altered his own memory. This to me feels like where we wish Hermes ended up, because to Hermes, the shadow of their paradise was their behavior towards their creations and just the endless assembly line of create, destroy, recreate. But he took it too far, to a point that would have killed everybody if successful, and still might. We don't know how it ends. Maybe Dawn Trail is a whole new. We're over on like the 4th with whole new characters.
Just Hermes wanting to die again. That's interesting. I didn't take it that deep. Or I didn't take it that applicable to the current story, which it is. I'm taking it on a base level. No hero's journey is without its challenges. The hero doesn't want to go on the journey. That's what makes it a quest.
But Azam and everyone who ever was Azam really wanted to go on the journey.
Well, yeah, yes.
Catholic upbringing intensifies.
Just turning their back. Getting weird on it.
It's good visual storytelling. It's
O
metaphorical.
mighty Zodiac! God, born of our boundless faith, we bid you, hear our prayer. Accept this offering of lives, and deliver unto us the lives we once had. Deliver unto us the days of old.
Good old primal summoning.
Days when the star was a font of love, and we knew naught but bliss.
Which isn't true and never was, and that's what makes it a fallacy worth interrupting.
Well, when things get that bad, it probably feels that way in retrospect.
In retrospect again.
By comparison to literal eldritch horrors are manifesting from our brains and eating us.
Feeling stressed out about your new steward job on Elpis is not the same, but they were never without suffering. They were never without trial and toil.
I don't think it was suffering, though. I mean, in their defense, I don't think they were suffering. I think they were just... Were they having existential crises? Yes, but they weren't experiencing famine. They weren't experiencing death in the way mortals know it.
No, they were eating for fun and lounging about in the sun.
They wanted for nothing. If they wanted something, they could create it. Yeah, whatever's happening back there is good.
You would destroy it? Our beautiful world?
Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all, a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I choose to believe in mankind's potential, in his ability to find a way forward. So let there be no way back. From that temptation, I sunder us. No more shall man have wings to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk.
I'm nuts about sword imagery. I just like swords.
Oh.
So it's working no matter what's being said on that level.
Fantastic lines. Here's where I'm sorry for all the fun I have ever made of you for your weird fantasy themed metal bands that you love. Because don't you just want a metal song that incorporates Venat's lines here?
It becomes that. It literally does. That's the next part of the song.
Fuck the song. I'm talking about what Venat is actually saying. What Venat is actually saying here while holding a sword up while beam of the end of bad DC movie lights pillar fires out of the sky. It's the most metal thing I've ever seen in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah?
I go back and forth on this, though. There's one thing I think I'm not sure I want here. They turn and they offer themselves. I kind of wish they became Zodiark. That shot of her from behind, looking at the people in the room, I wish it was like Venat in human form holding the sword, facing down a gargantuan Zodiark.
I see what you're saying.
I want that visual.
Yes, it'd be a fun visual because I too enjoy little tiny human charging big ass thing. I think it's badass.
Or we just, we in a minute we're gonna go to the flash. What if while she does after this, like she kind of leaps ahead and flash, the people become Zodiark.
That would be cool. However, we're all getting ahead of ourselves. Just because she said sunder doesn't mean this is the sundering moment. First, she's got to become Hydaelyn, fight Zodiark, not succeed, and then she sunders as a result of her losing battle.
That I disagree with that because this entire thing is metaphor.
Well, true.
This scene represents the resolve, the decision by Hydaelyn to split the world. That's how I take this scene. I should probably applaud the reservation here to keep it grounded and keep representing the ancient people.
It's also not as interesting to jump to the science table with amount of Omnicrafters all creating Hydaelyn, because that's how it actually happened.
Really?
Well, that's how Zodiark was made, by the whole 14 sitting around and crafting and summoning the thing that became Zodiark.
I don't think they actually sat there like making their thing with their hammer
Yeah,
and their anvil.
Fandaniel led the way. He was the lead scientist, and they all buy their creation. I mean, they probably went like this.
Yeah,
and then a
that's
laser
how it
came out of their
goes.
hands.
They like mentally come up with the
bar,
idea.
You know, the bar was filling collectively.
No, they went and applied the salamander oil.
Emmett Selk, known for his leatherworking. Elidibus, the tailor.
A little bit. No.
La Habrea, culinarian.
No, La Habrea is definitely...
Level 300.
La Habrea is 100% the leather daddy, and I will not be convinced otherwise.
Igiorm. Fisher. But it's a show of her conviction, which is awesome.
Yeah.
This line in particular is straight on point. We can apply 1.0 Dalamud to some parts. We can talk about the land and maybe Aetheris as being the land that gave birth. But the line that was just said while she exploded was, "Our souls have been torn and our bodies forsaken. Bear the sins of the past or our future is taken." That's pretty badass.
I could 100% work for Dalamud as well.
We could do plenty of things with that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
None of this is the specific. This is why I don't do lyrics videos. I think they're all extremely general.
Oh, it goes off about war. We could say that this was the big Stormblood revelation.
Yeah, I look at this the way I look at horoscopes.
That's why I said it's not true. I said it's badass.
What I appreciate and can appreciate is syncing all this
The
up.
pacing, yes.
Yes, I see it 100. I 100% see it as a retcon retrofit, but I ain't mad about it.
No.
It's very artfully done.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's tastefully done.
All is excruciating pain. I breathe fire and torment.
It's better than any single quote in the entire final season of Game of Thrones.
True.
I birth a world of suffering to mire and plague.
All I see is Ulda. Ulda. Ulda.
Yeah, because they all have really lame clothes. Sorry, Ulda folks, but your clothes are lame.
It's 2.0.
In one fleeting moment, lives come and go, ever moving towards the unknown.
She's also saying a lot of lines from the song, so
in that
yeah, like the
fleeting
plague
moment,
stuff. Yeah, these are all
They cry for the answer to the question.
answer the question, you know.
Why, given life, are they meant to suffer, to die?
The song just said that.
As fragmented, imperfect beings, yours is a never-ending quest. A quest to
Oh, it's
find
good.
your
I'm such a sucker for a
It's
match.
good.
We are all suckers for match cuts.
Yeah.
to find the
So
strength to continue when all strength has left you. To find joy, even as darkness descends.
Hell yeah.
And amidst deepest despair, light everlasting.
The imagery of the gore. I love that Carrie shot. Old horror movie. All that shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think there's videos with titles like "Reaction to that cutscene for a reason." It's when Endwalker goes off. Somehow, after fighting and defeating Zodiark, this is when Endwalker goes off.
There's so many false starts. I mean, the biggest one being the death of Zodiark. Fandaniel, Elidibus, everyone on your journey all challenge you again to find a solution because there is none. The Loperates, find a solution because we ain't got one. There's a lot that is riding on this moment. They pull it off. It's good.
Puts everything in perspective, and you're coming off of the end of Catesis, where you reveal to everyone playing this game that it's a time loop, and that is such a payoff. You didn't even need it. We could have easily, in another game, we flew past that crystal, and it was just like, oh, that would have been cool to see, and they go, no, we're going to show you it. Like, because honestly, knowing about the time loop, for me, I was already good. I'm like, holy shit, that's a massive revelation. Let's go. I want to see where this game is taking me. But that is just such a delightful cherry on top. It is such a good payoff.
Give the people what they want.
Yes. Yes. Isn't it nice when you get what you want and it's actually pretty good?
It's a rarity these days. In the past, oh man, we used to get what we wanted all the time. But now...
No, Kyle, no.
We gotta summon you know what? We gotta summon a whole god just to make it okay again.
My God.
You know, I wish times were simpler.
No, Kyle. Every hype cycle.
I'm voting Zodiark.
Every hype cycle has its darkness, and to pretend otherwise is foolish. I'm talking to you, Star Wars fans. I'm talking to you, Game of Thrones fans. I'm talking to you, World of Warcraft fans.